Well, it's a glamorous old life in television, so they tell me. Who would be a cameraman on a crane in this weather? Dear me, it is an awful night here at Headingley. We're just tucked underneath the roof there, and we're slightly drier than that, poor gentleman. But that is the view he's got of the pitch, and there are some of the statistics from the first half. Warrington having to put a lot more tackling in than Leeds. Scrums going Leeds' way. Penalties all square. The handling errors, well, nothing much to choose. But Leeds, 45% of that first half, they had the ball in their hands, to 37% of the time for Warrington. I think indication there, Mike Stevenson, that what we said at half-time, absolutely right. Warrington on the back foot for much of that first 40.
Well, as you can see by the statistic, it said 37%, but the most important thing is that Warrington, for that 37% of that first half, were in their own half. They really have had no chance to apply any pressure. The man in the screen there, Gary Schofield, must be very pleased with the effort. The first 40 minutes, he really has taken control of this game. Wonderful kicking game in that first half. And I'm sure that there'll be more to come. Their coach, Doug Lawton, for once this season, I'm sure, would have had a smile, or at least a little smile on his face at the half-time break.
James Lowes, number 14, makes his senior debut for Leeds. The man who impressed here for Hunslet. Leeds went in, signed him, and the fee will be decided by the tribunal. So second half of Leeds against Warrington coming up live and exclusive on Sky. 12-0. Men from Headingley lead. Schofield gets us underway, and our Leeds on the way back. 40 minutes will tell us. James Lowes has come on for the hooker and goal kicker, Colin Maskill, and Peter Hutton has had a word with Doug Lawton and can fill us in as to why Maskill is off.
Yeah, Colin Maskill got a bad knock to the ribs about 10 minutes from the end of the first half. Decided to stay on, even though the Leeds players were telling him to go off then. But he has gone off at half-time. Lowes, a man who's played at hooker for Hunslet, coming on in his place.
Leaves Leeds with a slight problem about goal kicking, but we'll wait and see. But our money is on Gary Schofield to do the kicking. A couple of goals to him this season already. Last tackle for Warrington. A looping pass from Dwayne Mann. Put Myler under all sorts of pressure. Ellis had to kick downfield, and one bounce into the arms of Alan Tate. Tate hit form straight away since he arrived at Headingley, and Leeds will be hoping that this fellow, Jim Fallon, continues his excellent start in the winter that lies ahead. Mike O'Neill. That's Lowes, now Stevens. Stevens finds Malloy. These two sides never out of the first division. Never crowned champions either. In fact, in the old-style championship format, the top four playoff Leeds became champions by beating Warrington in front of 52,000 at Odsal in 1961, 25-10. But in the new format, the reintroduction of two-division football in 1973, neither of them had lifted the championship pennant. This is Mark Forster. First half substitution for Warrington. Didn't see much of him after he came on. Now Ellis. Jackson. What would you have said, Mike, as the Warrington coach, to your players if you had come in half-time 12-0 down on a night like this?
Well, the problem being that Brian Johnson would have had to say to them that we have to get into that Leeds quarter. Not once did they apply any pressure. They didn't have the chance to get that ball out there. They really have not respected this possession. Too many mistakes. They have to cut them down, and I'm sure that Johnson would have told them that.
Gibson is wheeled in by Sanderson and Jackson, the second row combination of Warrington. There is Brian Johnson alongside his chairman Peter Hyam, watching from the director's box here at Headingley. Hanley struggling to get to his feet. The ball was not a good one. Schofield tidied up and found Paul Dixon. Here's Lowe's again. Last tackle. It's back with Tate. It was almost charged down that by Cullen. Don't think it was touched in flight. Leeds are hanging off. If the ball would have been touched in flight, of course, it would have put everybody in the Leeds side ahead of the football onside, and so they could have gone in for the challenge. As it is, they have to give the man who catches the ball in the kick downfield 10 metres grace.
And of course, the thing that's been missing from the Warrington play so far is a wonderful combination that we've seen in the last couple of games. Mackie and Ellis, they really have not got things working in Joel.
And what a ball this is. Reed had a red cross on it, didn't it, for the hospital, that. And it got a bang, did Bob Jackson, right above his ear.
Yes, he was going down, and the stray knee coming through. There was no intent there. It's one of those very painful accidents.
Craig Innes with a stray knee. But it was a fairly bad ball, I must say. It was really low down for Jackson to collect. It was from Greg Mackey.
He did well, really, did Jackson. The Australian had to go down. It was Innes' stray knee that went right into it. A simple accident, but a painful one nonetheless.
Warrington captain Bob Jackson. Tough as nails. He'll carry on. Referee calls time back on. We're back underway. This is the last tackle. Again, Warrington kick downfield, and again, Tate reads it.
And a pretty solid game as the Leeds fullback, Alan Tate. To be fair to Tate, he's been one of the few players this season at Headingley that really has shown some kind of form on a week-by-week basis.
Lowe's from dummy half. Bit of a step up, isn't it, from the third division to the big league. Lowe's has made the transition now. Schofield to Dixon. So close, almost through. That's the last tackle. Schofield dabs the ball forward, picks up pace off the wet turf.
Put himself in an handy position, didn't he? On the blind side. Allowed Warrington no chance to put that pressure upon him. Picked his spot perfectly. He looks to be enjoying tonight.
So it's a scrum down just outside the Warrington quarter. Warrington's head and feed. They have possession. And Colin Maskell, the Leeds hooker, not in that scrum, of course. He's off, injured. He's talking now with Peter Hutton.
Colin, very successful first half for Leeds.
Yes, very successful first half. A lot better than what we've been playing last week. Good defensive game and a good kicking game.
What was the message from Doug Lawton before this game? So obviously there was talk of a crisis after the Northern performance. What changed?
Well, basically we had to work on our defence because defence was shocking last week. And without defence, I mean, you're going to lose every game you play. But like we say, we tightened up with the defence this week. Kept the ball tight because it is very wet and slippy out there. And we had a very good kicking and chasing game.
And just finally, what's your own situation? Your ribs, I think, isn't it?
At the moment, yeah, I've got a crack on the ribs and it's not too good at the moment, but I'll go back on if I have to.
OK, thanks a lot, Colin.
Colin Maskell, was that a little knock on from Fallon? No, referee said the ball went backwards.
Well, I don't know about backwards yet. He juggled it. I think he just caught it before he touched the turf. Probably see on the replay, yes. Good play, good hands. Caught at the slips.
And a good decision as well from referee Colin Steele. He's had a good game tonight. Not missed much. Match that's being played in trying circumstances. The rain and heavy going underfoot. Mistakes like that. Ellis picks it up for Warrington. Now then, a A little bit of a gap has opened up for Ellis. That's a better run from the scrum half. Warrington in possession with Mackey, and now with Myler, the fullback. Myler over the top to Bateman. Bateman has got Forster in support, but Wigan, no, listen to me, Leeds defence playing a lot better this week.
That was a great break by Ellis, but a wonderful tackle by Tate. He took the gamble, he came in from the back position.
Warrington still in possession then with Mann, now with Mackey. Misses out Ellis. Ball takes a bounce. Kenyon, oh, that's too strong. You could see that was too strong the moment it left his boot.
Wasted opportunity. Far too much beef behind that. Cut down on the Yorkshire pudding with that one.
Warrington winger Neil Kenyon. I'm not so sure he would have Yorkshire pudding actually in Warrington, but maybe so.
Well, only one helping of hot pot then.
Mike O'Neill. Good way.
Either way, Eddie, what they want to be fed on. They certainly need something, Warrington. They just can't get through this very strong Leeds defence.
They've worked hard in training, obviously, this week, Leeds. Bradford Northern pierced it 36 points to 6 last Sunday, and they have worked very hard to produce runs, kicks and chases like that, and great tackling.
Well, we said the finger pointing had to stop and they had to get down to hard work, and that's what's been on display tonight. They've really assessed themselves, a bit of pride, a lot of effort.
Paul Anderson has come on for Leeds. Remember him on a match we did here last season. He had an excellent game for Leeds. And there he is, involved in the tackling right away. Anderson, number 15. Here's Mackey, and it's Mike O'Neill, who is still out there. So I'm just checking through who is off. It's Steve Malloy who's off, as Alan Tate gets the ball from that pass and sets off on a good run, does the Leeds fullback, dragging Warrington back towards their own try line again. That's Gibson, the dummy half, takes the return pass. Gareth Stevens, Gary Schofield. Warrington working hard in defence too, to keep Leeds at bay. Stevens again, looked a forward pass to Anderson. It's the last tackle. Referee unimpressed. Schofield, they're going to have a drop goal. That's the one-pointer. That stretches the advantage. 13-0, Leeds ahead.
All the years of experience showing here. He pulled himself away from the play the ball position. Gave him the room. You'll see on the replay, that is cool under these conditions. Lovely drop goal. The 1 point, vital now. Unlucky for some, certainly for Warrington. 13-0 Leeds.
Gary Schofield's first one-pointer of the season. Hanley allowing that one to come under control before he picked it up and then gets away from the challengers. O'Neill on the charge. There was a little swinging arm there from Neil Harmon. Schofield, Dixon. Still Dixon.
Warrington losing a little bit of composure here, the swinging arm. They're getting frustrated. They really have not been allowed to get going in this game tonight. That's all because of the Leeds defence, the good kick and chase game. They really have controlled it, the Headingley boys.
Anderson going down on the 5th tackle. Schofield again will aim that ball towards the corner flag. Well, everything's coming off for him tonight.
It's all about injecting yourself into the play. He's done just that. The master is controlling. The wand is being waved and the magic is flowing.
Referee waiting while Warrington make a substitution. It's Neil Harmon who's off and Gary Tees who's on. There's Tees, 25 years old, formerly with Barrow. It's his first appearance of the season. Only 9 games for Gary Tees, in fact, in 2 years.
Leeds caught offside at the scrum there. That's why the penalty was given. But once again, they're finding it very difficult to put themselves in a position in the Leeds quarter.
Here's Tees. But they simply can't make any progress, Warrington, can they? Perhaps they will now with Mackey. He's given that one a bit of a hack forward one for Rudd to chase.
And it looks as though the touch judge has ruled that Leeds kick this ball over. It looks on the line to me. Unfortunate there for Leeds, but Warrington, is this going to be their first chance?
They've got the feed, they've got possession with Mackey. It's now with Bateman. Mackey again. Misses out Myler. Although it was aimed for Myler, Myler missed it. Good job that Kenyon was out there on the far side. This is Cullen now. Bateman. They really cannot move, can they, before Leeds hit them?
Well, it's all about a one line of defence, and Leeds have done that. They come up, they've smothered, they've scrambled back. Great team effort.
Man the dummy half. Ellis, Mackey. Mackey again, but they didn't fall for that, Leeds. They followed the ball, Innes and Schofield, and they snuffed the danger out.
Well, that summed it up for me. Greg Mackey turned round, didn't know which way he was going, what had hit him. Well, I'll tell you what it was. Gary Schofield, his opposite number.
That's a great bomb, though, from Mackey, and that's a great take from Tate. Well, in 2 weeks, we've seen Great Britain possibilities here at fullback, having blinders.
Well, you could have put ballet music to that, couldn't you? That really was pretty.
In 40 matches at Headingley between these two sides since the war, Leeds have won 28 and Warrington 11. But over the last decade, Warrington have won 5 out of the 10. So it's been a good ground for Warrington recently, and that really is the measure of this Leeds performance here tonight.
Well, there you see the kick and chase at its best. Leeds really have been working it well tonight. The pressure they've applied. Warrington, as you mentioned, Eddie, just are not getting into the swing of things. They're not being allowed to. The tackling has stepped up 3 gears since last week.
Jackson ducking under, and James Lowe's just hanging on to Jackson's ankles. Ellis to Mackey, the combination that's worked so well this season is just spluttering along here tonight. Mackey again. Gives the ball a bit of height. No knock on, it was off his boot. He stopped. He thought the referee had blown, did Jim Fallon.
Well, it's hit the boot there onto his knee. Another good decision by the referee, Colin Steele. I don't believe this. With a couple of decisions like this, I might be praising him.
O'Neill.
Another major factor, Eddie, is that Leeds have been sharing the work. The forwards are really just getting involved, then letting someone take it away, running the angles, creating confusion in this Warrington defence.
Referee spotted an elbow being used here.
Well, was it the elbow or was it the knee that came in late? Well, yes, there's an elbow on top.
Don't think it was Cullen. I think it was Gary Tees who was penalised then, the substitute.
Well, it was obviously Tees was trying to just use his elbow on somebody's teeth to prise himself up. That's not allowed.
Anderson will run strongly, but he's lost it. Well, that was surrendering possession on the very first tackle.
Never really had control of that, Anderson.
Referee wants a word with him now because he and Tees clashed. It's a penalty, Warrington.
Bit of over-exuberance there. You could see the swinging arm. Just ducked underneath it. Colin Seal wouldn't have anything of it.
That the sixth penalty Warrington have received. Anderson, the offender, played under 21 football last season. Here's Gary Tees taking on Lowe's and Hanley. Dixon coming in as third man to bring him to a halt. Mackey. That's good quick hands, Kenyon. But good tackling again over on that far side. Great stuff by Leeds in defence tonight.
Good ball from Mackey, one of the few that has got away. Nice touch there by Chris Rudd. The winger just slides away. This scrambling defence again. Innes really is having a big game, both in defence and attack.
Midway through this second half then, Leeds with that just one drop goal in this second half. It means, of course, that Warrington must score 3 times to win the match now. And in truth, they've not looked like scoring once so far, as Hanley sets off on another run.
Oh, great run there by Hanley. As I mentioned before, the forwards running at the angles, they're picking out the blind, and once again we see that link. Super play.
Dixon. It's the last tackle. Dixon takes it to himself. Penalty against Warrington. I don't think the tackler was standing straight.
Well, no, there you can see that the man, you're right, Eddie. He came from an offside position. Caught him offside there. He must come round, take the 5 metres back before he can do a tackle.
Steve Malloy into the line, just coming back on. He's been in the blood bin, got 5 or 6 stitches in a cut just above his eye. Paul Anderson's come back off.
So Malloy out of the blood bin. Stitches in the eyebrow. Don't mess about, do they? Get patched up. Couple of stitches. Back they come.
Hey, this is a tough game, Eddie. There's no sissies out there.
Lowers is the dummy half. Stevens now, and Schofield. Schofield saw a gap, tried to just force the pace again. Ellis picked up the loose ball for Warrington.
Ball just coming free there from Schofield, but it was mainly the tackle being dragged away. They're very confident Leeds now.
Warrington in possession. Gary Sanderson. Good tackle that was. Ellis and Mackey and Rudd and Bateman. The ball eventually getting out to Forster. Forster trying to take on Gibson down the wing. And Gibson just too good for him.
Well, there you saw a wonderful execution of the sliding defence from Leeds. Warrington just did have nowhere to go. They were pushing them out wide. The gap wasn't appearing. But this is a great kick, isn't it? Under a lot of pressure.
Super kick from Robbie Myler, the fullback. And Anderson, who came on for a stint while Malloy was in the sin bin, is coming back on. Peter Hutton's watching who's coming off.
Yeah, Anderson coming back on with Mike O'Neill coming off. The interesting story about it is Anderson hasn't had time to sit back down again. That he came off because of the blood bin situation and immediately just walked up and down the touchline. Now he's coming back on again.
So Mike O'Neill goes off to a good round of applause, and Anderson comes back on. Doug Lawton ringing the changes. Anderson taking his place at prop in that scrum. Big shot from Warrington. The referee says he wants the scrum reformed. It's Leeds, head and feed, and Warrington get the penalty at the scrum.
Well, referee Colin Steele claimed that the defending side, Leeds, who take the mark to get back, they failed to do so. They went into the scrum. That's why Warrington get the penalty.
This is Jackson. Mann, the acting halfback. It was Ellis on a decoy run. Sumner picks up. Warrington 10 metres short with Mackey. Now with Ellis. Drops it. He's had a nightmare, Kevin Ellis. He's not a wet weather player.
Oh, beautiful tackle, though, by Morvin Edwards. That sliding defence again. They're coming up very quickly, Leeds out wide. They're leaving a very shallow, narrow area for Warrington to play in.
And Warrington caught offside. Penalty to Leeds. And there's the attendance. 7,000 hardy souls have braved the rain here tonight. The rain has poured down all day in Leeds. And Phil Sumner is going off. Who's coming on? Neil Harmon is coming back. So as Doug Lawton rings the changes in his pack, so too does Brian Johnson. Just under a quarter of an hour to go. 13-0. Leeds have the advantage. And they haven't looked like being breached their defence once, Mike.
No, it's been a wonderful effort by the Leeds side, not only in defence, but also in attack. And I keep mentioning the fact that it's a long time since I've seen a Leeds side who's shared the work. They've linked well. They've worked to a pattern. Warrington well offside.
They've got to stand back with the referee 5 metres from the play of the ball. If they move forward before the ball is played, as they are doing now, look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you could have picked 8 of 10. All offside. So Leeds back just outside the Warrington quarter and in possession with Malloy, Lowe's and Anderson, using his considerable height and weight. Jackson having to work overtime to keep him out. Schofield. The ball is now with Goodway. Still going, Goodway. Another try here, it'll be curtains for Warrington. Malloy. Straightening up Malloy, still going. Legs pumping, Mann just bringing him down. Here's Schofield. Not the best pass in the world from Schofield, looking for Stevens. Ellis gets it back.
Tried to delay the pass too long there, Schofield. He got caught. Defence through. You need runners coming either side to drag away the defence. They weren't coming. Oh, that's high.
Hanley pulled out for this tackle on Neil Harmon.
They probably claim he came off the ball first, and probably there was a little bit of that. But in this day and age, referees are not having anything of it. At least Colin Steele has been very persistent.
Harmon, Ellis. Good run from Cullen, trying to swat Stevens and Schofield away. Leeds so quick to move up, cut the danger out. Tees slipping. Jackson. That looked high from Edwards. Referee agrees. Yeah, Jackson unhappy.
Well, Morgan Edwards, he must have a sore chest from bouncing it off with his fist, because he must have done it to the referee 10 times. That's a high tackle. At least 6 times to my knowledge. He's looked at the referee, Colin Steele, banged his chest and said, that's where I hit him.
Well, when he looks at the tape of this match, he maybe realise that perhaps the sights were slightly out of line.
You think he had a bad cough?
This is Harman. And now Mackie. Ellis. The way Leeds cut down the options, though.
Well, they're moving in very quickly out wide. Innes really is getting into the swing of things in defence.
That's a lovely kick over the top, but a great take by the winger Fallon. The kick was aimed for Neil Kenyon, and Fallon came up with it.
Oh, didn't he do well? Used his brains there, went back, could see the danger. Good defence.
Time is running out for Warrington.
That's another aspect that's been very pleasing for the Leeds fans, and I'm sure the officials and their coach Doug Lawton, Eddie, is the fact that all the players are talking to each other. They don't look lost and they don't look like strangers. They want to work for each other.
Maybe they finally had that barbecue you suggested on boots and all.
Well, if that's the case, they should book for every Tuesday and have a barbecue, because it really has shown up well tonight.
Yes, they know, I think they have to dig in to their resources, but that's a nice kick ahead. And they've hacked the ball forward of Warrington. He's man, he's got the try, has he? No, it was the Leeds hand that got to it first. Nice bit of football from Warrington. Now, whose hand was it?
Oh, it's pretty close. 50-50. I wouldn't like to have bet my house on this one. Let's watch it slow. Frame by frame nearly. Oh, I'll let you at home decide on that one.
It was a nice piece of play from Forster, who just hacked the ball in field soccer style, aiming it in towards the post. Man was running up. Unfortunately for Leeds, the referee gave Alan Tate the benefit of the doubt. That could have changed the complexion for the last 10 minutes, couldn't it? Big hit, Edwards on run. Totally legal, this one.
Oh, great tackle. This time Edwards kept low, but he didn't that time. Even he knew. He didn't even bother banging his chest this time. It was a grab. Not much weight behind it. But what a great tackle before then. A fine example of the Leeds defence, the umbrella defence coming in quickly, shutting down any chance that Warrington have out wide.
Here's Gary Tees. 13-0, Leeds ahead. Warrington looking for the try. The big man Harman just held up by the 4 from Leeds. This now is Ellis. Ellis on his own, gets the ball to Mackie, and at last the half-back combinations work. Mackie with the try, fed by Ellis. For the first time, the Leeds defence has split open.
The Stones Better Championship replay will show for once that Warrington have applied the pressure for some considerable time. He got away from the attempted tackle by Stevens, slid the ball out wide, and for once it stuck with number 6, Greg Mackie. Lovely play. He threw the dummy. You could see the dummy runners coming blind. Poor Stevens just couldn't get him down quickly. The momentum would take Mackay over. As you mentioned, Eddie, that's really the first time that the combination from Warrington has worked. Look at the dummy runners. He took it there, just put Stevens off that split second. The sliding defence was too slow to stop it this time.
It's a difficult angle for Chris Rudd to convert. But if he does pop it over, well, he doesn't. I was going to say it will make a very interesting last 5 minutes or so.
Good play by Ellis. You'll notice it runs diagonally across. He uses these two dummies. Let's hold it there. The two dummies are coming this way. Holds the defence. The gap appears. Long ball out wide. Great try. Lovely play.
Good try. 6 minutes of ordinary time to go. And I think the word from the timekeepers is there's another 3 minutes to be added on for that, so that's 9 minutes that Warrington have got. And they've got a little bit more of a spring in their step now. 13-4. Referee says Cullen dropped the ball, it's a knock-on.
You can see it there, it was squeezing out, wasn't it? Just like a little bit of soap.
Leeds in possession again with Schofield. Still going Schofield. Lovely run. But just running out of space and forced out of play. Lovely run this from Schofield. But he just ran out of field.
Well, he won't be too disappointed, Schofield. He's had a great game. The field goal at 13-4. He really has controlled the game. All the way through, only up until that last few minutes as Warrington secured anything, controlled anything for quite some time. He'll be happy, as I'm sure will all the Leeds camp.
Another penalty at the scrum. Warrington will be relieved for that, their 11th. Oh, there's another error. Gary Tees dropping it on the first tackle. Leeds back in possession.
Well, we said that this was the chance for Leeds to stand up and be counted. And 7,000 fans here and you viewers out there have seen that they wanted to be counted.
Here goes Jamie Lowes. Last tackle. Schofield just kicks the ball into no man's land. Warrington best watch this because Innes is steaming up. There he is. Kenyon did well to pick that one up under pressure, and he's still going as Kenyon, but not now. The considerable frame of Paul Anderson brings him down. Big effort from both sides, isn't it?
Well, we knew it was going to be tough, but I think everyone's a little bit shocked with the way that Leeds have played. Oh, that is true.
Yes, that really was risky stuff. Warrington putting themselves under pressure right on their own line. Unfortunately for Warrington, Bateman was alive to it as the ball came loose. Ellis again with the mistake.
Well, really, poor Myler was put under so much pressure. Thankfully, Bateman was there, but the pressure continues.
What on earth was Kevin Ellis thinking of then? Right under his own posts, in conditions like this. Risky on a dry day. That looked a bit high. Anderson just got the arm up in time to protect the face. A good, solid, workmanlike display, though, from Leeds. Hanley.
And their half-back combination, Schofield and Stevens. Gareth Stevens, little Beethoven, really has been on top form. He's done everything right. He's kept the ball moving at all times.
Another one of those teasing little balls forward from Schofield. Myler got it at the second attempt. The referee says it went backwards here.
Well, maybe it didn't hit the ground. Tempers flaring now. Oh, that's silly.
Cullen was in there with elbows flying. And the referee trying to sort it out. Frustration, I think, the name of the game for Warrington.
Well, that was silly play by Paul Cullen. The loose forward. There you can see he's miles away from the action. Referee Steele having enough problem as it is. But obviously Steele's got very good eyesight. This is how it all started. He's been excitable all night, hasn't he, Morven Edwards? He wanted to impress in more ways than one.
Edwards obviously been penalised by the referee. Warrington had the penalty, although it was Hanley who was pulled out and spoken to by the official, Colin Steele.
Well, a lot of the Leeds fans, they booed after last week's loss. Well, let's hope those same people will stay and cheer their heroes tonight, because they really have played a very good tactical game.
It's Mackey. That's good hands. But a bit too late for Warrington, I fear. 13-4 down. And we're now into stoppage time. It's the last tackle. Kenyon. He hoists a high one. Mackey's underneath. Tellis is steaming in for that one rather, and it was Tate who kept his eye on the ball and took it cleanly. Into stoppage time then. Timekeepers, whatever they add on. Cullen in quickly, and there's a bit of a blue going on right by the referee. Well, it's a shame that this match could degenerate into a finish like this. It's been a highly professional display from Leeds. And as I say, it's just a little bit frustrating for Warrington, and perhaps that's where the fists are flying. Bob Jackson, the man. Last up, I think.
Well, you could see the steam just rising from the melee. Touch judges are on. A little bit of claret there on Morven Edwards. There you see the referee Colin Steele. He comes in to try to help. Touch judges in there. There's little Beethoven in the middle of it. He's only small as Stevens.
Mackey and Hanley being pulled out by the officials. Greg Mackey just shrugging his shoulders, having a little smile. Anyway, at the end of it all, it's penalty to Leeds for use of the knees, the sign from the referee Colin Steele. Schofield doesn't find touch. Bateman has it for Warrington.
Well, that's one of the few rare things that Schofield has done wrong tonight, because he certainly has had a big game. His control is, as I mentioned.
2 minutes of stoppage time played. Leeds ahead 13-4. Tees head down and straight into the midriff of Paul Dixon. Mackey still going to the end, Warrington. Ball went backwards. Ellis picks up the loose one. Mackey over the top, one for Kenyon. Fallon has to be quick, and is. Well, a few times in this second half, Warrington have tested Fallon for his speed and strength.
Good kick by Mackey, but once again, the former rugby union winger is there. He didn't shirk it there, did he? He threw his body right across the player.
Warrington with possession from the scrum. Mackey again. This is Bateman. Good tackling, Edwards, that time. There's the final siren. And the Leeds players shake hands all round, embrace each other. They've beaten Warrington by 13 points to 4. And the crowd that booed them off the field last week are going to be given a little bit of recognition from the Leeds side tonight. Good win, 13-4.
Opening an account was quite straightforward.
The small business advisor took me through the things I needed to know.
Then I could really start sorting things out.
Like making sure I'd ordered enough bacon trays and cake boxes.
And after that, all I had to get was the van. And all the menus printed.
You can always speak to the bank if you have any questions, especially now times are